Welcome back to the call to unite. Welcome back to the opportunity to give generously through Give Directly. Welcome back to the invitation to serve. Welcome back to join your brothers and sisters around the world who in this unique moment in time are choosing to tell the story of us as the story of us as one. We are so honored to be joined right now by two people who are known all over the world. A couple, a powerhouse couple, a group of energetic human beings who have shared the gospel, the teachings, the story of health, mental wellness, self-improvement, optimism, goal setting, desire, courage, bravery for a generation. Tony Robbins and his wife Sage joining us together to help us wind down these last few minutes and get the last precious gems of what we should know about what we need to do. Tony, Sage, we're so grateful that you're here. Give us what you guys are going through right now and what you're feeling and thinking are the most precious gifts that we need to unite.
Well, first, let's just thank you for putting this on and for all the incredible talent from poetry to dance to heartfelt messages that have come together. I mean, this has embodied the message of Unite. And so maybe we can talk about how to develop not the self, but us, you know.
Yeah, we said instead of self-improvement, let's talk us improvement, because so many of us are working on our relationships now. I mean, it's part of the urgency of now. We have to get better at us, right?
Yes. Well, thank you, Tim. I think what's beautiful, about the call to unite as you're watching today is just the beauty of human beings giving their gifts, loving, serving, wanting to support. And I think when you translate that to your beloved, when you translate that to your relationship, beautiful things happen because the human gets out of the way. A lot of times in relationship, we have unconscious expectations that we're there to get something. And it's certainly our experience. We both have that question in our mind: how can I serve? How can I serve? Literally, constantly. But what's beautiful, what comes out of that is graciousness, the same grace that you see today. What's captivated this world audience is the beauty of just the essence of our true nature as human beings, giving and serving in that generous spirit. Unfortunately, sometimes in relationships, that gets diminished some out of expectation. And so for us, it's been, that part is beautiful because we get to share whatever it is, whether we're on the road, whether we're working, or whether we're at home. And we have beautiful rituals. We pray at each meal together and just, flood ourselves with what we're grateful for. Because there's such a
and laugh.
Yeah, and laugh. Especially when there's so much, there's external, where you turn on the news and so forth. There's a different dialogue, there's a different narrative, but we have the capacity to create the narrative in our own relationships and lives and what meaning, we give to things.
I think a big part of it in relationships, a place you go to give, not to get. And I think all of us right now are facing fear. I mean, if you're human, you're facing fear at some level. Some people's very high, some medium, some low, but it's all there. And fear separates us. It's the very opposite. And the way to be fearful is we all have a 2 million-year-old brain, right? And so that brain is always looking for, it's a survival brain. What do I do to avoid this? What do I do to fight or flight or freeze and not be hurt? And the minute we do that, separation equals suffering. That's where that's where it comes from. And people do that in intimate relationships. And some of us do that within ourselves or with our creator or with our friends or our companies. And so the real secret, I think, today is for all of us to we'll do more for others we love than we'll do for ourselves. So it's time to get strong. It's time to stop suffering. There's two options: suffer or grow. And so I don't think most of us want to suffer anymore. I think we've all suffered enough. I think it's time for us to grow. And that growth requires us to get outside of ourselves and think about, how do we serve? No matter how tough your life is, there are people, as you well know, we know, every single day that are suffering more than you are, no matter how bad you think it is. And the way, the gift of humanity, what makes us human, is the spiritual side of us that says, man, if I can just focus on helping somebody else, I'm not in my own head and the suffering ends. And so our call to you and to all of you that are watching as friends and family, we're all brothers and sisters on this planet, is to say thank you for your kindness. Be kind to yourself, because as corny as that sounds, think about it. Fear separates us. Kindness, love, acts of service unite us. And, united, as corny as it is, that's where our strength and power is. And so our life is about helping people do that. So the question I have for everybody listening and watching is, there's two choices: fear or faith. And that's not a religious question. It's like, what is fear and what is faith? What's the difference? They're both made up because no one knows what the future will be. And so what it is, their imagination, but fear is imagination undirected. It's like weeds, it grows automatically. And faith is where you decide to be certain so you can serve. But we won't do that just for ourselves. We'll do it for our kids. We'll do it for our loved ones. And so my request, our request is be kinder to each other, be kinder to yourself. And the things that have been happening here for 24 hours, make them be an ignition to start a new path of living in this beautiful state, not because everything's beautiful and perfect and easy, but because in a lousy state, you can't help anyone, least of all yourself and not others. And so that's our focus. Our focus is, how do we make those choices, each of us? And I finally just say, but the most important choices are, what are you going to focus on? That's a decision. What is it going to mean and what are you going to do? Are you going to focus on what you have or what's missing? We all know, and if I asked all of us listening right now and watching, we all do both, but where do you spend more of your time? And when I have big audiences, I'll ask them this, and most people say they focus more on what's missing. Well, if you always focus on what's missing as your pattern, it's hard to stay happy, even if there was no COVID-19, even if there was no challenger. Or do you focus more on what you can control or can't control? There's so much we can't control. If you focus on what's missing and you can't control, you're going to be overloaded. And then the meaning, is this the end or the beginning? This is the beginning. I mean, we're resilient human beings. We've been through, hundreds of thousands of years of every kind of virus you can imagine. We're not going down. This is not, and even the statistics are showing that. So let's get out of our heads and serve. That's really our core message. And it starts at home with those you love. And if you can do it with those you love, then you can do it for the people that you have the privilege to interact with, whether it be work or the community or the people that are allowing us to be home right now, that are in grocery stores and firemen, first responders, and people in the hospitals. I mean, our love and thanks goes out to all of them.
Sage Robbins, to see you together, talking about getting unconscious expectations and having faith in each other is medicine for all of us. I hope you will both continue to teach and continue, as I know you will, even in these times, to provide new lessons and new insights so that we can find the strategies and the real plans to answer the call to unite. This is just the beginning. We welcome you as co-founders of this crazy adventure we're on together. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Tim, and for all your family and team. God bless you.
Family, thank you. God bless you guys.
Thank you.